Hello everyone, I'm Henry Lee. Now we're going to continue to make a silk scroll. So far we have done mounting on the back of the original to attach a layer of silicone film to the back of the painting. And then we attached the supporting strip around the edge of the painting. And then we prepared the materials for the silk margin. Now is the secret. Many of you think the entire piece is on silk. That's not true. So you need only like 1 yard to do this big painting. Only on the margin. The entire scroll will be backed on another piece of special paper. We call the backing paper. You can use a double shuan if you like, but that's not long enough. Maybe that's why we sell this. We bought this from China. It comes in a roll, so you can cut to the length without making seam. Attach different pieces together. So the first thing we're going to do in the last step of not last step, but most important step, is to put things together, layout on the backing paper, position them first. So roughly we place them, make sure the bottom and the top and the bottom are right, and then position the painting in the center place. Make sure we have the same margin, because I'm very tight in space. If we have a smaller painting, then you can cut off, you can trim it. I need as much as possible. The backing paper, limited to 19 and a half. So I should be very careful with alignment. Otherwise, I have to trim it. So that's about it. We're going to fix the painting first, then we will do the other part of it. So let's put this aside. Okay. Turn on my iron. Because this painting has already been mounted and backed with silicone mounting, you don't have to iron very hard. Just give heat to activate the heat-sensitive silicone film on the back of the painting. So basically just iron, and you can use a piece of protecting sheets, but make sure you don't move anything. First you can just press to position it, then you can do more stroke. So I just put some heat in the center to position it. Like that. You don't need this piece of paper if the iron is clean, because you can clean it with a piece of paper towel, so you know what you're doing without moving anything. Just fix the center. And then the 4 corners. Well, I still put a protecting paper if the pens is thick, because you might scratch the painting. So just gently, without much pressure. You don't need much pressure at this point. Just 15 seconds will activate the silicone film. And if you're not sure, you can put the protecting paper now, because it's already been fixed on the painting, it won't move. So you're more free to iron the entire surface to make sure it's all even. That should be enough. Okay. Now we're going to do the strips on the sides. Remember, the strips on the side should come first before the top and the bottom. We should leave a little extra space when you cut it, because you don't want to go short. The silk, it has some flexibility, you know. When you cut it with stretch, you might. So you rather have some extra to cut it off later. And you should decide what width between the painting and the margin. It could be 1 millimeter or 1.5. Some large painting you can go larger. So this painting, I kind of like the brown to contrast with to pick up the color with the leaf. So I may leave a little more than I normally do. Okay, you can start from one side and do section by section before you iron on the whole thing. This way you make sure it's not going to change. See, I start to vary the width. That's the main thing. I need to keep an eye on the hole, because otherwise it will be not even. I think it's getting narrower. That happens. Should be even. You cannot really move, but some part is still not fixed, so you can still even it out a little bit. Now I iron on the whole strip. You need to cut out extra here with a pair of scissors. You can. This will be behind the bottom strip, so it's okay with a little bit rough. And this side, the same thing. This silk facing up, of course. You don't want to make that mistake. So there is a adhesive and on the other side, on the wrong side. Okay, you can start from the center. That's a lesson I just learned. Instead of from the margin, I think maybe it's easier to work that way. Oops. I don't want to touch anything else. That's why we rather use a smaller iron, like a handy iron. But this is faster. Okay. We'll do the bottom part. But here's a trick. It's very important. I want to show you. Before we iron the entire piece with the backing paper, we need to save a strip for wrapping the door or the beam on the bottom. You know, the roller, the screw roller. So we put about 1 inch and a quarter, something like that. Okay, and so this will not stick on the backing paper. That's important. So you have the space for the wood beam. That's right. Okay. And start from the center out. $15 is all needed to activate the silicone. You don't have to count, just the concept is different than mounting the original painting, where you need 1 minute on every spot. So that's a lot of iron. This is relatively easier. Okay, you can see this, right? And we need to make that line firm so it's not going to peer off. Okay. Now the upside, let me move this to closer to this side. See, I have a problem with this space because if you have a larger table, you don't have to. But in many professional framing shops, they also have to move around. Okay. Want to cover the supporting strip a little bit and show just as much as you did before with the other part. Okay, and then fix this line first. That's the most important. Do a little bit ironing on this side also. Okay, now before we continue to fix the whole thing, see there's some problems. Okay, it's a little bit off the center. We have to trim that off, I think. Okay, now we're going to put the strip for the top door. This is a narrow strip. Oops, this is not. This is. So the common problem is with measurement and alignment. If you are very careful with measurement and alignment, you shouldn't have much problem. This has to do with experience. If you don't make a mistake, you won't learn. That's the rule. Okay, so just continue. Because the silk tends to move when you stroke, you just kind of position it first, like that. And very gentle, I'm sorry, see, it moves. You want to seal the corner before you do the center, the other sides. So this one creates a serious problem. And then you can just go through it very gently to activate the film on the back of the fabric. Roughly 15 seconds every spot. Okay, I think that's about it. And you can see this line should be straight. That's your hanging strip. Okay. The next step would be adding this door and the hanging strip. Stay tuned. Okay, we're going to continue our project of doing a hanging scroll. Now I'm at nearly the last step, but we need to do some detailing before we do the rows, and we need to take the extra silk out, because when we do the measurement, the silk is not very easy to measure precisely, so we should always leave some extra for trimming. I find the roller blade is easier for to cut the fabric, but it's not easy to keep it straight sometimes. You need some practice. So let's move. Okay, that's very good. There's a little strip, but we can use the supporting strip. That's what we're going to do next to wrap it. That's why we have that, to correct such problems. So we have one more step to go before we fix this final wood wall. Let's see, this is step number 6. So step 1, backing the painting with silicone paper. Step 2, trim the painting square. Step 3, attach supporting strips. Step 4, prepare silk margin and the backing paper based on the total length. Step 5, putting together. Now step 6, seal the rim with supporting strips. I think between 6 and 5 we did the square, the trimming also. So that's what we're going to do. For precision work, you need a piece of glass or metal board like this. So we will do first the front side. It's about half of the strip in the front, okay? And then we'll flip to fold it to do the other part. So you will wrap the edge, because the silk is going to warn a little bit, if you don't do this to protect it. And you should do it little by little. This is a little tricky because you have to estimate. I think I can see it from here how much. And to make it easy, you might draw a line with a pencil, I think. Otherwise, it's kind of hard to see the straight line. just draw a line like that. You can use this very light pencil. And we'll continue with this if it helps. So that does help a little bit, I think. I use lower temperature to activate this. And yeah, you need to pour. Let me see. Yeah. I will ask my wife Victoria to help with this part. Cover the front side with half of the strip, then we'll turn it over to flip, fold it, and then eye on the wrong side. And you should be very careful with the alignment. Now the painting is turned over, so we seal the other side of the rim. The front first, then you kind of wrap it. Okay, now we're going to iron the other side of the strip to seal the rim of this scroll. And this time you don't need to put the metal or the glass under it because it's not going to stick on anything. Just fold the strip and iron to seal it. This side is what it look like. You won't see this side in the finished painting. You only see the front. Just notice a little bit wave. Enhance a little bit. When she's doing that, I just give it overall iron here. Okay, thank you, Victoria.